All right, have and have not fans. You'll notice between now and when the mid-season finale comes next Tuesday, I'm probably going to have probably two to three, maybe even four young family related videos, and it honestly, I'm probably going to repeat this phrase or this topic in several videos, but before I get started, I gotta say that in regards to Tyler, Crystal, and Tinka, the actors and actresses playing Benny, Hannah, and Candace respectively, you all did amazing with the funeral home scene. I had to go back and watch because again I did my initial episode reaction video right after the video itself, and that's been one reason I haven't uploaded videos since Tuesday, because I've had to go back and watch that particular scene multiple times because I wanted to step back, kind of pick it apart, because if I did a video right off the bat, it would have been, I'm not going to lie, pretty biased because again, you've seen my videos, am I too hard on Candace? Does she really love her son? Her and Hannah are alike. You've heard me do video after video about this, but I just wanted to kind of check myself before I got the mic. You know what I mean? I just wanted to kind of talk about it because you can understand Candace is going through grief, but even if you're a Candace fan, you have to admit that she is really acting more ridiculous than usual, considering that she's blaming Hannah in regards to, you did this just to spite me. And I'm just like, I understand that her and Hannah have bad blood, so to speak, but if anything, she should know that her grandma, excuse me, that her mother loved her grandson. So I just don't understand that. I mean, I've read plenty of comments on not just my videos, but also different social media outlets. So one of my favorites was, hey, one thing that, you might notice about, this isn't just about black, black women, but just pretty much most races, if not all races in general, that when, people become grandparents, they tend to be either more lenient or show more love to their grandchildren than their actual children. You know what I mean? Like Hannah being a grandmother is showing more love to Quincy Jr. instead of Candace at that age, because like the mistakes they made and whatnot, or hey, I did wrong by my child, so I want to do right by their child. So it's pretty much, it does make sense, because remember when when Candace was Quincy Jr.'s age, Hannah was like Candace. So you look at it, and again, despite the Bill Cosby allegations, one of my favorite stand-ups is by him. I believe it was called Bill Cosby Himself or Myself, where he's talking about, he did a great sketch about his own parents, like when he had children, and he's like, yeah, I was a rambunctious child, but my parents looked at me as like, one day you're going to have children and running around and acting just like you. So when they come over to visit, like, oh, having trouble, son? And then it's like, my children love my parents. And I look at them and tell them, this sweet old lady right here, this is not the woman who raised me. This is an old woman trying to get into heaven. That actually is true, because my mom, my sister has a child. He's about 7 years old now. And I just noticed how her and my dad are like way more lenient with him than they were with us at his age. So I'm just like, wow, that is true. So the reason I'm bringing this up is because the topic of this video is not going to be a super long video, because honestly, I have one solid point that can just drive it home. So when you listen to me talk on this video, it's not me being biased, it's me getting right down to the facts, no beating around the bush. The question is, who loved Quincy Jr. more? Was it Candace or was it Hannah? These two characters are not involving Benny or Quita, because she loved him for the check, so to speak. The only reason she was concerned about Quincy being gone when Benny took him was because of the money she'd get, welfare or whatnot. So when it comes down to it, because I was talking about it with my mom, and put it this way, when it comes to Candace versus Hannah, this isn't me just saying Hannah off the bat, because I can prove it. Remember when Candace had come back from New York with Oscar and Quincy Jr. was in the hospital? She was literally about to get custody of Quincy Jr. She got to the hospital. Aaliyah was there, you know, to greet her. I believe her boss was there as well. She saw a couple of cops walking around, and Candace's like, "Oh, what are the cops here for?" It's like, well, Quincy Jr.'s father was here, referring to Quincy. Remember, Quincy Sr. came by the hospital, saw his son. I believe he even choked Aaliyah, and then, you know, left saying he'd come back. As soon as Candace heard that Quincy was around or had come by, she started shaking her in the boots, and she said, "Oh, I have to go somewhere, but don't you want to see your son? He's been calling for you." "Oh, I'll come back later." Now, that showed me right there her fear of Quincy was greater than whatever love she had for her son. Go back to, I believe, season two, where Quincy Sr. had Quincy Jr. dangling by his legs outside of Hannah's window. Remember, I believe he knocked at the window, asked where Candy was, and she said she didn't know. And then, you know, that's when he showed her that, hey, I do have Quincy Jr. right here. She ran outside, held him, hugged him, you know, because she missed her grandson. And Quincy was like, "Hey, you tell me where she is, I'll let you have him." But Hannah really did not know where she was. So when Quincy took him back and was walking to the car, you know, Hannah was chasing after him. I believe, you know, she kind of like pulled at his arm to give him back. She got backhanded right in the face. I believe it was either backhand, like a hard slap, whatever it was, it left a bruise. And I think this was actually cut from the actual episode, if I'm not mistaken. But I know it was in like a little preview that was shown. And again, this was a few years, about 2 years ago, I think, maybe 2.5, year and a half ago. When Quincy had Quincy Jr. in the car, they drove off, and then Hannah was screaming in the streets. That show, it again, if you've commented on my videos, I'm being too hard on Candace, I don't understand her character, can you at least hear me out and just say that when it comes down to it, Hannah was willing to chase after Quincy to get her grandson, and then got, you know, slapped really hard as a result. Quincy was right there. She tried to get her grandson back, got slapped, and then fell. Remember that. Candace went to the hospital, heard about Quincy being there. Then the cops were there. Remember, Quincy had been there. The cops were patrolling the area. So even if Quincy tried to come back, he couldn't get directly to Candace. But Hannah had nobody. Benny wasn't at home. It was just her. Quincy Sr. was outside holding her grandson. She chased after her and got knocked out to save her grandson. But in order to get custody of her own child, even with police protection and everything, Candace wouldn't even go in the room a few feet away to see her son. Now, with that being said, I think it goes without saying, this isn't even me mentioning Candace's lifestyle. This isn't me talking about Hannah raising Quincy Jr. when he was a baby. This is me using two hard facts and scenes from the evidence, both involving Quincy Sr. being the driving point from either Hannah or Candace getting possession of Quincy Jr. Hannah fought back, but got knocked out. Candace didn't even have to worry about a backhand, but she wouldn't even go in there to see her son. So for people who still support Candace in regards to, you know, loving her son more than anybody, more than Hannah did, or she has a right to control the funeral, go back and rewatch those scenes. Like, they're not even like, and again, I don't post full episodes on my channel, but if you just like, you know, YouTube, you know, Quincy and Hannah, or, you know, just Candace and Quincy Jr., these scenes, if I'm not mistaken, should still be on their own YouTube channel. Rewatch those scenes and tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. So with that being said, I think it goes without saying, just using these two scenes alone, that Hannah loved Quincy Jr. more than Candace. That's my 2 cents. I'm standing by it. The comment section is ready. Please tell me your thoughts. I'll talk to you later.